Ready?
Yes.
To McVicker and Co., Southampton, England. We undertake no guarantee for goods damaged in transit. As soon as the consignment was taken aboard, we drew your captain's attention to the fact that the vessel was unsuitable for the transportation of robots, and therefore we are not responsible for spoiled freight. We beg to remain, Rawson's Universal Robots, yours truly.
Your tea, Mr. Dahman.
Ah, thank you, Sula. Ugh, can you not smell it? This milk has turned.
It has all of the qualities milk should have.
All except taste. I do wish Dr. Gall would improve upon the taste function.
Will you be making your own lunch today, Mr. Dahman?
No, the doctors will take care of it.
Very well. I will ready the kitchen.
Ready?
Yes.
Hello? Yes? No? All right. Another letter. Fredericksworks, Hamburg, Germany. We beg to acknowledge receipt of order for 15,000 robots. Well, what is it?
There's a lady, sir, asking to see you.
A lady? Who is she?
I don't know, sir. She brings this card of introduction.
Ah, from President Glory? Ask her to come in. Where did I leave off?
We beg to acknowledge receipt of order for 15,000 robots.
15,000. 15,000.
Please step this way. How do you do?
How do you do? What can I do for you?
You are Mr. Dobbin, the general manager.
I am.
I have
With
come...
President Glory's card, that is quite sufficient.
President Glory is my father. I am Helena Glory.
Please, sit down. Sula, you may go. How can I be of service to you, Miss Glory?
I have come to
To have a look
help.
at our famous works where people are manufactured like all visitors. There is no objection.
I thought it was forbidden
To enter the factory, of course, everybody comes here with someone's visiting card, Miss Glory.
And you show them...
Only certain things, the manufacture of artificial people, is a strict secret.
If you only knew how enormously that
Interests you? Europe's talking about nothing else.
Why don't you let me finish speaking?
I beg your pardon, did you wish to say something different?
I only wanted to ask
Whether I could make a special exception in your case and show you the rest of our factory. Why, certainly, Miss Glory.
Thank you.
But you must agree not to divulge the least.
My word of honor.
Well, what is it?
Would you mind releasing my hands?
Oh, I beg your pardon.
How cautious you have to be here, don't you?
Why, yes, of course. That is...
But what is it? What's the matter?
I'm remarkably pleased. Did you have a pleasant crossing?
Yes.
No difficulty?
Why?
What I mean to say is, you're so young.
May we go straight into the factory now?
You will make a long stay, won't you?
That depends on how much of the factory you show me.
Oh, you shall see everything, Miss Glory. Indeed you shall. But first, would you like to hear the story of the invention?
Yes, indeed.
Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
It was in the year 1920 that old Rawson, the great physiologist, who was then quite a young scientist, took himself to this distant island for the purpose of studying the ocean fauna. On this occasion, he attempted through chemical synthesis to imitate the living matter known as protoplasm, until he suddenly discovered a substance which behaved exactly like living matter, although its chemical composition was different. That was in the year 1932, exactly 440 years after the discovery of America.
Do you know that by heart?
Yes, you see, physiology is not in my line. Shall I go on?
Yes, please.
Then old Rawson wrote the following among his chemical experiments.
Nature has found only one method of organizing living matter. There is, however, another method, more simple, flexible, and rapid, which has not yet occurred to nature at all. This second process by which life can be developed was discovered by me today.
Now imagine him, Miss Glory, writing those wonderful words over some colloidal mesh that a dog would look at. Imagine him sitting over a test tube thinking how the whole tree of life would grow from him, how all animals would proceed from him, beginning with some sort of a beetle and ending with a man of different substance from us. That was a tremendous moment, Miss Glory.
Well...
Excuse me. Hello? Yes? No, I'm in conference, don't disturb me.
Well...
Now the thing was how to get the life out of the test tubes and hasten development and form organs, bones, and nerves, and so on. and find such substances as catalytics, enzymes, hormones. In short, you understand?
Not much, I'm afraid.
Never mind. There. You see, with the help of his tinctures, old Rossum could have made anything he wanted. He could have made a worm 50 yards long, or a Medusa with the brain of Socrates. But, being without a grain of humor, he took it into his head to create a vertebrate, or perhaps a human. This artificial living matter of his had a raging thirst for life and didn't mind being sewn or mixed together. That couldn't be done with natural albumin, and that's how he set about it.
About what?
About imitating nature. First of all, he tried making an artificial dog. That took him several years and resulted in a sort of stunted cat, which died within a few days. I'll show it to you in the museum. Then, old Rossum began the manufacture of humans.
And I'm to divulge this to nobody.
To nobody in the world.
Oh, what a pity it's to be discovered in all the school books of both Europe and America.
Yes, but do you know what isn't in the school books? That old Rossum was mad. Seriously, Miss Glory, you must keep this to yourself, but the old crank wanted to actually make people.
But you do make people.
Approximately, but old Rossum meant it literally. He wanted to become a sort of scientific substitute for God. He was a fearful materialist, and that's why he did it all. His sole purpose was nothing more or less than to prove that God was no longer necessary. Do you know anything about anatomy?
Very little.
Neither do I. Well, old Rossum then began on the manufacture of humans. He began to manufacture everything into the human body. I'll show you the bungling attempt it took him 10 years to produce. It was to have been a human, but lived for 3 days only. Then, up came young Rossum, an engineer. He was a wonderful fellow, Miss Glory. When he saw what a mess of it the old man was making, he said,
It's absurd to spend 10 years making a man. If you can't make him quicker than nature, you might as well shut up shop.
Then he set about learning anatomy for himself.
There's nothing about that in the school books?
No, the school books are full of paid advertisements and rubbish at that. What the school books say about the united efforts of the two great Rossums is all a fairy tale. They used to have dreadful rows. The old atheists hadn't the slightest conception of industrial matters. So the end of it was that old Rossum was locked up in some laboratory or other, while the young one took on the business from an engineer's point of view. Old Rossum cursed him, and before he died, he managed to botch up 2 physiological horrors. Then one day they found him dead in the lab, and that's his whole story.
What about the young man?
Well, anyone who has looked into human anatomy will have seen at once that humans are far too complicated, and that a good engineer can make them more simply. So young Rossum began to overhaul anatomy to see what could be left out or simplified. In short, isn't this boring you, Miss Glory?
No, indeed, it's awfully interesting.
Then young Rossum said,
A man is something that feels happy, plays the piano, likes going for a walk, and in fact wants to do a whole lot of things that are really unnecessary.
Oh.
unnecessary when he wants, let us say, to weave or count. Do you play the piano?
Yes.
That's good. Oh, I beg your pardon, but a working machine must not play the piano, must not feel happy, must not do a whole lot of other things. A gasoline motor must not have tassels or ornaments, Miss Glory, and the manufacture of a gasoline motor is the same thing as the manufacture of a living machine. The process must be the simplest, and the product the best, from a practical point of view. What sort of worker do you think is the best from a practical point of view?
Perhaps the one who's most honest and hardworking.
No, the one that is the cheapest. The one whose requirements are the smallest. Young Rossum created a worker with the minimum amount of requirements. He had to simplify him. He left out everything that did not contribute directly to the progress of work. In fact, he rejected everything that makes man more expensive. In reality, he rejected man and created the robot. My dear Miss Glory, the robots are not people. They have an enormously developed intelligence. Mechanically, they are more perfect than we are, but they have no soul.
How do you know they have no soul?
Have you ever seen what a robot looks like on the inside?
No.
Very neat, very simple, really a beautiful piece of work. Not much in it, but everything in flawless order. Technically, the product of an engineer is at a higher pitch of perfection than a product of nature.
But humans are supposed to be the product of God.
All the worse, God hasn't the slightest notion of modern engineering. Would you believe that young Rossum then began to play at being God?
How do you mean?
He began to manufacture super robots, regular giants they were. They were almost 12 feet tall, but you wouldn't believe what a failure they were.
A failure?
Yes, their limbs used to keep snapping off.
Apparently our planet is too small for giants.
Now we only make robots of normal size and a very high-class human finish.
I saw the first robots at home. The town council bought them engaged them for work.
No, Miss Glory bought them. Robots are bought and sold.
These were employed as street sweepers. I saw them sweeping. They were so strange and quiet.
Rawson's Universal Robot Factory doesn't produce a uniform brand of robots. We have robots of finer and coarser grades. The best will live about 20 years.
Then they die?
Yes, they get used up. Marius, bring in samples of the manual labor robot. I'll show you the two extremes. This first grade is comparatively inexpensive and made in vast quantities. There you are, as powerful as a small tractor, guaranteed to have average intelligence. Watch this.
Greetings, I'm called Hypotenuse. I'm a builder.
Salutations, I'm called Amplitude. I lay the communication lines. I am Foci. I am Foci. I.
This needs a tune-up.
Right away, sir.
It's in charge of providing assistance in the event of a problem.
This doesn't seem to bode well for your factory.
The rest work in their various ways. Hard workers.
I serve as I needed. Clean. All must be clean. I am quartile.
And what do you like to do?
Volt. I am Volt. What is like?
We're not programmed for this task.
I'll note the word for further inspection.
And who are you?
That's Fractal and Rune. We barely need to give them names. Numbers would be sufficient. But Dr. Gall loves to play house.
That signals our start.
Very well. That'll do, Marius.
You make me feel so strange.
Did you see my new typist?
I didn't notice her.
Sula, another story to you.
So pleased to meet you. You must find it terribly dull in this out-of-the-way spot, don't you?
I don't know, Miss Glory.
Where do you come from?
From the factory.
Oh, were you born there?
I was made there.
What?
Sula is a robot. Best grade.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Sula isn't angry. See, Miss Glory, the kind of skin we make. Feel her face.
Oh, no.
You wouldn't know that she's made of different substance from us, would you, Miss Glory? Turn around, Sula.
Oh, stop.
Talk to Miss Glory, Sula.
Please sit down. Did you have a pleasant crossing?
Yes, certainly.
Don't go back on the Amelia, Miss Glory. The barometer is falling steadily. Wait for the Pennsylvania. That's a good, powerful vessel.
What's its speed?
40 knots an hour, 50,000 tons. One of the latest vessels, Miss Glory.
Thank you.
A crew of 1,500. Captain Harpy.
That'll do,
eight
Sula.
whalers.
Now, show us your knowledge of French.
You know French?
Oui, madame.
Oh, that's absurd. Sula is not a robot. Sula is a girl like me. Sula, this is outrageous. Why do you take part in such a hoax?
I am a robot.
No, you are not telling the truth.
Sula, come into my office.
What is it that you need, Mr. Drummond? More tea?
No, I'd like to introduce you to Miss Glory.
How do you do? Did you have a pleasant crossing? The barometer is falling steadily, so I recommend you wait for the Pennsylvania. It is more powerful than the Amelia.
What's its speed?
At 50,000 tons, it can clock 40 knots an hour.
No, that's just what she said.
Crew of 1,500. Captain Harpy. 8 boilers.
I know they have forced you two to do it for an advertisement. You are a girl like me, aren't you? And so are you.
I'm very sorry, Miss Glory, but each is a robot. The Sula model.
It's a lie.
Well, then I must prove it to you. Marius, take Sula into the dissecting room and have them open her up at once.
Where?
Into the dissecting room? Once they've cut her open, you can go and have a look.
Oh, no.
Excuse me, you spoke of lies?
You wouldn't have her killed.
You can't kill machines.
Don't be afraid, Sula. I won't let you go. Tell me, my dear, are they always so cruel to you? You mustn't put up with it, Sula. You mustn't.
I am a robot.
I shall go if you prefer.
No. Neither of you shall go. That you are robots does not matter. Robots are just as good as we are. Sula, you would let yourself be cut to pieces?
Yes.
Oh, you're not afraid of death, then?
I cannot tell, Miss Glory.
What is afraid?
Do you know what would happen to you in there?
Yes.
She should cease to move.
How dreadful!
Marius, tell Miss Glory what you are.
Marius, the robot.
Would you take Sula into the dissecting room?
Yes.
Would you feel sorry for her?
I cannot tell.
What would happen to her?
She would cease to move. They would put her into the stamping mill.
That is death, Marius. Do you not fear death?
No.
You see, Miss Glory, the robots have no interest in life, no enjoyment. They are less so much than grass.
Stop, please. Send them away.
Marius Sulo, you may go.
It's outrageous what you are doing.
Why outrageous?
I don't know, but it is. Why do you call them both Sula?
Isn't it a nice name? I'll show you the rest. Marius, bring in the domestic line. Now you've already met Marius and Sula. Now meet Crassus, Scipio, and Aurelius. They keep the kitchens running, the telegrams answered, the fires aflame, and the food ordered.
But Sula is a man's name. Sula was a Roman general. In fact, so were Marius, Crassus, Scipio, and Aurelius.
What? Oh, we thought that Marius and Sula were lovers.
Marius and Sula were generals and fought against each other in the year... I've forgotten now.
Well, anyways, they're so very useful. They give me leave for other pastimes. Introduce yourself to this nice lady.
Good day, madam. I shall bring you a shawl. Are you cold?
Why, no thank you.
Good day.
Good day. You shall learn to anything you desire.
I am but a step away at all times.
Come here to the window.
What?
Come here. Do you see anything?
Bricklayers.
Robots. All our work people are robots. And over there,
Some sort of office?
a counting house. And in it,
A lot of officials.
robots. All our officials are robots. And when we get to the factory, you'll see that if we don't blow the whistle, the robots won't stop working.
Noontime break. Powering down.
Powering down.
Powering down. Powering down.
Please have them taken to the domestic wing for break.
Yes, Mr. Dolman. This way.
If you like, I'll take you to the kneading trough.
A kneading trough?
Yes, the pestle for mixing up the paste. And each one we mix the ingredients for 1,000 robots at one operation. Then I'll take you to the vats for the preparation of liver, brains, and so on. After that, the bone factory, and then the spinning mill.
Spinning mill?
Yes, miles and miles of digestive tubes pass through it at a time.
Can't we talk about something else?
Perhaps it would be good. There's only a handful of us among 100,000 robots. We talk about nothing but the factory all day and every day. It's as if we're under a curse, Miss Glory.
Sorry I said you were lying.
Come in!
I beg your pardon. I hope we don't intrude.
No, come in. Miss Glory, here are Gall, Fabry, Alquist, Hallemeyer. This is President Glory's daughter.
How do you do?
We had no idea.
Highly honored, I'm
Welcome,
sure.
Miss Glory.
Hello.
Busman. Busman, this is Miss Glory. Miss Glory, this is Busman.
By Jove, that's fine. Miss Glory, may we send a kilogram to the papers about your arrival?
No, please don't.
Miss Glory, please sit down.
Please.
Oh, excuse me.
What sort of crossings do you have? Are you going to stay long?
What do you think of the factory, Miss Glory?
Did you come over to
Be
the
quiet and let Miss Glory speak.
What am I to speak to them about?
Anything you like.
May I speak quite frankly?
Why, of course.
Tell me, doesn't it ever distress you the way you are treated?
Treated? What makes you
Don't you feel that you might be living a better life?
Well, that depends what you mean, Miss Glory.
I mean that it's perfectly outrageous. It's terrible. The whole of Europe is talking about the way you're being treated. That's why I came here, to see for myself. And it's 1,000 times worse than could have been imagined. How can you put up with it?
Put up with what?
Good heavens! You are living creatures just like us, like the whole of Europe, like the whole world. It's disgraceful that you must live like this.
Good gracious, Miss Glory.
Well, she's not far wrong. We do live here just like prisoners.
Worse than prisoners. May I call you comrades?
Why not?
Comrades, I have not come here as the president's daughter. I have come on behalf of the Humanity League. Comrades, the Humanity League now has over 200,000 members. 200,000 people are on your side and offer you their help.
About 1,000 people, Miss Glory. That's a tidy lot. Not bad.
I'm always telling you, there's nothing like good old Europe. See, they haven't forgotten us. They're sending us help.
What sort of help? A theater, for instance?
An orchestra? More than that, just you. Oh, never mind about me. I'll stay as long as it is necessary.
By Jove, that's good.
Domin, I'm going to get the best room ready for Miss
Just a
Glory.
minute. I'm afraid that Miss Glory is under the impression that she's been talking to robots.
Of course.
I'm very sorry, Miss Glory, but these fine people are human beings just like us.
You're not robots?
Upon my honor, Miss Glory, we are not robots.
Then why did you tell me all your officials were robots?
Yes, the officials, but not the managers. Allow me, Miss Glory, this is Consul Buttman, General Business Manager, Dr. Fabry, General Tactical Manager, Dr. Hallemeyer, Head of the Psychological Training Department, Dr. Gall, Head of the Psychological and Experimental Institute, and Alquist, Head of the Building Department, RUR.
Just a builder.
Excuse me, have I done something dreadful?
Oh, not at all, Miss Glory.
Well now, Miss Glory, it certainly is nice to have you with us.
But you know I've come to disturb your robots for you.
My dear Miss Glory, we've had close to 100 saviors and prophets here. Every ship brings us some. Missionaries, anarchists, Salvation Army, all sorts. It's really astonishing what a number of churches and idiots there are in the world.
And yet, you let them speak to the robots.
So far we've let them all. Why not? The robot remembers everything, but that's it. They don't even laugh at what people say.
I've clearly missed something. Send me back by the first ship.
Not for anything in the world, Miss Glory. Why should we send you back?
If it would amuse you, Miss Glory, I'll take you down to the robot warehouse. It holds about 300,000 of them.
347,000.
Good. And you can tell them whatever you like. You can read the Bible, recite the multiplication table, or even preach to them about human rights.
Oh, I think that if you were to show them a little love, that...
Impossible, Miss Glory. Nothing is harder to like than a robot.
What do you make them for, then?
That's good. What do we make robots for?
For work, Miss Glory, one robot can replace 2.5 workmen. The human machine, Miss Glory, was terribly inefficient. It had to be replaced sooner or later.
It was too expensive.
It was not effective. It no longer met the requirements for modern engineering. Nature has no idea of keeping pace with modern labor. For example, from a technical point of view, the whole of childhood is a sheer absurdity. So much time lost, and
Oh,
then
no,
again, please, Miss Glory, what is the real aim of your league, the Humanity League?
Our real purpose is to protect the robots and to ensure good treatment for them.
That's not a bad object either. A machine has to be treated properly. I don't like damaged articles. Please, Miss Glory, enroll us all members of your league.
Yes.
No, you don't understand me. What we really want is to liberate the robots.
And how do you propose to do that?
They are to be dealt with like human beings.
I suppose they're to vote, to drink beer, to order us about.
Why shouldn't they drink beer?
Perhaps they're even to receive wages.
Of course they are.
And what would they do with their wages, pray?
They would buy what they want, what pleases them.
I am foci. I am foci.
I can't seem to find the problem.
I am foci. I am foci. I am foci. Ah!
Another case of the robot cramp.
And it's the stamping mill.
Yes.
Clean. I will clean. I am quartile.
I do love those names.
As I was saying, it would be very nice, Miss Glory, to give the robots what pleases them. Only there's nothing that does please a robot. Good heavens, what are they to buy? You can feed them on pineapple straw, whatever you'd like. It's all the same to them. They've no interest in anything. They've no appetite at all. Why, nobody's ever seen a robot smile.
Why don't you make them happier?
That wouldn't do. They are only workers.
Oh, but they're so intelligent.
Confoundly so. They've nothing else. No will of their own, no soul, no passion.
No love?
Love, rather not. Robots don't love, not even themselves.
No defiance?
Defiance? I don't know. Only rarely, from time to time.
What happens then?
What you just saw. Occasionally they seem to go off their heads, this robot's cramp. Suddenly they'll sling down everything they're holding, stand still, gnash their teeth. And then it's off to the stamping mill. It's evidently some breakdown in the mechanism.
A flaw in the works that has to be removed.
They are the strangest robot I've seen.
Another result of my experiments, I'm afraid.
Perhaps this robot's cramp, as you call it, that's the soul emerging from the void.
Do you think that the soul first shows itself by the gnashing of teeth?
Perhaps it's just a sign that there's a struggle within. Oh, if you could infuse them with it.
That'll be remedied.
Yes, I was just doing some experiments, but I've moved on from that. At present, I'm making pain nerves.
Pain nerves?
Yes, you see, the robots feel practically no bodily pain. Young Rossum provided them with too limited a nervous system. We must introduce suffering.
Why do you want to cause them pain?
For industrial reasons, Miss Glory. Sometimes a robot does damage to himself because it doesn't hurt him. He sticks his hand into the machine, breaks a finger, smashes his head. It's all the same to them. We must provide them with pain. It's an automatic protection against damage.
Will they be happier when they feel pain?
On the contrary, but they will be more perfect from a technical point of view.
Why don't you create a soul for them?
That's not in our power.
That's not in our interest.
That would increase the cost of production. Hang it all, my dear young lady, we turn them out at such a cheap rate. $150 each, fully dressed, and 15 years ago they cost $10,000. 5 years ago we used to buy the clothes for them. Today we have our own weaving mill, and now we even export cloth 5 times cheaper than other factories. How much you pay a yard for cloth, Miss Glory?
I don't really know. I've forgotten.
Good gracious, and you want to found the Humanity League. It only costs a third now, Miss Glory. All prices are today a third of what they were, and they'll fall still lower, like that.
I don't understand.
Why, bless you, Miss Glory, it means that the cost of labor has fallen. A robot foot and all costs 3/4 cent per hour. That's mighty important, you know. All the factories will go pop like chestnuts if they don't at once buy robots to lower their cost of production.
And get rid of all their workmen?
Of course. But in the meantime, we've thrown 500,000 tropical robots down on the Argentine pampas to grow corn. Would you mind telling me how much you pay a pound for bread?
I've no idea.
Well, I'll tell you. In good old Europe, it only costs 2 cents. A pound of bread for 2 cents, and the Humanity League knows nothing about it. Miss Glory, you don't realize that even that is too expensive. Why? In 5 years' time, I'll wager that the cost of everything will be 1/10 of what it is today. Why? In 5 years' time, we'll be up to our ears in corn and everything else.
Yes, and all the workers throughout the world will be unemployed.
Yes, Alphys, they will. Yes, Miss Glory, they will. But in 10 years' time, Rossum's universal robots will produce so much corn, so much cloth, so much everything that things will be without price. There will be no poverty. All work will be done by living machines. Everyone will live only to perfect themselves.
Will they?
Of course, it's bound to happen. Then the servitude of person to person and the enslavement of humans to matter will cease. Nobody will get bread at the cost of life and hatred. The robot will wash the feet of the beggar and make a bed for him in his house.
Daman, what you say sounds too much like paradise. There was something good in service and something great in humility. There was some kind of virtue in toil and weariness.
Perhaps, but we cannot reckon with what is past when we set out to transform the world. We shall be free and supreme. We shall have no other aim, no other care, no other labor than to perfect ourselves. We will not be a machine and a device for production. We will be creators. Capital C, creation itself.
Amen.
So be it.
You have bewildered me. I would like to believe this.
You are younger than we are, Miss Glory. You will live to see it.
True. Don't you think Miss Glory should have lunch with us?
Of course. Daman, ask her on behalf of all of us.
Miss Glory, will you do us the honor?
When you know why I've come?
For the Humanity League?
Oh, in that case, perhaps...
It's fine, Miss Glory. Please, excuse me for 5 minutes.
Thank you.
I'll be back soon.
I'll be back in exactly 5 minutes.
What have they all gone for?
To cook, Miss Glory.
To cook what?
Lunch. The robots do a lot of cooking for us, and as they have got no taste, it's not all together. But Hallomar's great at grills, and Gall can make any kind of sauce, and Busman's a whiz at omelets.
What a feast. And what's the specialty of your builder?
Alquist? Nothing. He only sets the table, and Fabry will gather together some fruit. Our cuisine is quite modest, Miss Glory.
I wanted to ask you something.
And I wanted to ask you something too. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
What did you want to ask me?
Excuse me, you asked first.
Perhaps it's silly of me, but why do you manufacture female robots when...
When gender means nothing to them?
Yes.
There's a certain demand for them, you see. Saleswomen, stenographers, people are used to it.
But tell me, are the robots completely, mutually without...
Completely indifferent to each other? Yes, Miss Glory.
Oh,
There's no signs of attraction.
That's horrible.
Why?
It's so unnatural. One doesn't know whether to be disgusted or to hate them, or perhaps
To pity them,
that's more like it. What did you want to ask me?
I would like to ask you, Miss Helena, if you will marry me.
What?
My wife.
No, the idea.
If you don't marry me, you'll have to marry one of the other 5.
What? Why should I?
Because they're all going to ask you in turn.
How could they dare do such a thing?
I'm very sorry, Miss Glory, but it appears they've all fallen in love with you.
Please don't let them. I'll go away at once.
Helena, you wouldn't be so cruel as to refuse us.
But I can't marry all 6.
No, but one anyhow. If you don't want me, very Fabry.
I won't.
Ah, Dr. Gall.
I
Another minute.
think you'd marry anyone who came here.
Plenty of them have come, Helena.
Why didn't you marry one of them?
Because I didn't lose my head until today. Then, as soon as you arrived, another minute.
I don't know.
Now, you either have to look me straight in the eyes and say no violently, and then I'll go away, or
You're mad.
a person has to be a bit mad, Helena. That's the best thing about it.
You are.
Well, come in. Have you finished your job?
Yes.
So have we.
Still asleep?
Yes,
Well, as long as she's asleep, she can't worry about
she
it.
knows nothing about it.
I sure hope nothing happens today.
For goodness sake, drop it all. Look, this is a fine cycleman, isn't it? My newest sort, my latest. Cycleman Helena.
No signs of the ship. Things must be pretty bad out there.
Be quiet. Suppose she heard you.
Well, anyways, at least the ultimates arrived in
Do you really
time.
think that today?
I don't know. Aren't the flowers fine?
These are my primroses. And this, my new jasmine. I've discovered a wonderful way of developing flowers quickly. Splendid varieties, too. By next year, I'll be making marvelous ones.
What next year?
I would give anything to know what's happening at Hopper with.
Nana!
Keep quiet, she's awake. Out you go.
Nana! Good gracious, where is she? She has to do it like that. It's a routine. gracious. All alone on this island with 6. Oh, there you are, Nana. Please do up my dress. This horrid mess. Oh, who? Oh, those dreadful creatures. Those heathens.
The robots?
Oh, I wouldn't even call it by name.
What's happened?
Another one of them has caught it. Began to smash at the statues and pictures in the drawing room. Gnash his teeth. Foam at the mouth. Worse than an animal.
Which of them caught it?
The one, well, he hasn't got any regular name. The one in charge of the library.
Radius?
That's him. My gracious, I'm scared of them. A spider doesn't scare me as much as them.
But Nana, I'm surprised you're not sorry for them.
Why? You're scared of them too. You know you are. Why else would you have brought me here?
I'm not scared. Really, I'm not, Nana. I'm only sorry for them.
You're scared. You know you are. Even the dog scared of them won't take a piece of meat out of their hands. Howls and draws in his tail when he knows they're about.
The dog has no sense.
Yes, but he's better than them, and he knows it. Even the horse shies when he meets them. They don't have any young. Dogs have young. Everybody has young.
What is it that smells so nice?
Flowers.
What for? Oh, aren't they lovely? Look, Nana, what's happening today?
It ought to be the end of the world.
Oh, hello, Harry. Harry, why all these flowers?
Yes.
Well, it's not my birthday.
Better than that.
Oh, I don't know. Tell me.
It's exactly 10 years ago since you first arrived here today.
10 years? Today? Why, I'm all fancy.
I'm really ashamed, Helena. I didn't.
But you...
They remembered.
Who?
Mussman, Hallemeyer, all them.
Oh, pearls! A necklace! Harry, is this for me?
It's from Bussman.
But I can't accept it, can I?
Oh, yes, you can.
What's that?
Not that. Wrong pocket. Try again.
Oh, Harry, why do you carry a revolver?
It got there by mistake.
You never used to carry one.
No, you're right. Ah, there's the pocket.
A cameo? Why, it's a Greek cameo.
Apparently. Fabry says it is anyway.
A Fabry? Dr. Fabry gave me this?
Yes. Look over here, Helena.
Oh, isn't it fine? Is this from you?
No, it's from Alquist. And there's another on the table.
This must be from you.
There's a message in it.
From Dr. Gall. Oh, Harry, I feel embarrassed at so much kindness.
Come here. Look what Hallemeyer brought you.
These beautiful flowers?
Yes, he calls them Cyclamen Helena. He grew them in honor of you. They're almost as beautiful as you are.
Harry, why do they all...
They're awfully fond of you. I'm afraid my gift is a little... Look out the window.
Where?
Into the harbor.
There's a new ship.
That's your ship.
Mine? How do you mean?
For you to take trips in, for your amusement.
Harry, that's a gunboat.
A gunboat? What are you thinking of? It's only a little bigger and more solid than most ships.
Yes, but with guns.
You'll travel like a queen, Helena.
What's the meaning of it? Has anything happened?
Good heavens, no. I say, try these pearls.
Harry, have you had bad news?
On the contrary, we've received no letters for the past week.
Nor telegrams?
Nor telegrams.
What does that mean?
Holidays for us. We get to sit in the office with our feet up on the table and take a nap. No letters, no telegrams. Glorious.
Then you'll stay with me today?
Certainly. That is, we will see. Do you remember 10 years ago today? My dear Miss Glory, it's a great honor to welcome you.
Oh, Mr. Manager, I'm so interested in your factory.
But it's strictly forbidden. The manufacture of artificial people is a secret.
But to oblige the young lady who has come a long way.
My dear Miss Glory, I have no secrets from you.
Are you sure, Harry?
Yes.
But I warn you, sir, this young lady intends to do terrible things.
Good gracious, Miss Glory. Perhaps she doesn't want to marry me.
Heaven forbid! She never dreamt of such a thing! But she came here intending to stir up a revolt among your robots!
Revolt of the robots?
Harry, what's the matter with you?
A revolt of the robots? That's a fine idea. It'd be easier for you to cause bolts and screws to rebel than our robots. You know, Helena, you're wonderful. You've really turned the hearts of us all.
Oh, I was fearfully impressed by you all then. You were all so sure of yourselves, so strong. I felt like a tiny little girl who had lost her way among
What?
huge trees. All my feelings were so trifling compared with your self-confidence. And in all this time, I've never lost this anxiety, but you never felt the least misgiving. Not even when everything went wrong.
What went wrong?
Your plans. You remember, Harry, when the workmen in America revolted against the robots and smashed them up. And when the people gave the robots firearms against the rebels. And then when the governments turned the robots into soldiers and there were so many wars.
We foresaw these, Helena. These are only passing troubles that are bound to happen before the new conditions are established.
You were all so powerful, so overwhelming. The whole world bowed down before you. Oh, Harry!
What is it?
Close the factory and let's go away, all of us.
What is the meaning of this?
I don't know, but can't we go away?
Impossible. That is, at this particular moment.
At once! Harry, I'm so frightened.
About what, Helena?
It's as if something were falling on top of us and couldn't be stopped. Oh, take us all away from here.
Excuse me. Hello? Yes? What? I'll be there at once. Battery's calling you, my dear.
Tell me.
When I get back, don't go out of the house.
He won't. Tell me. Nana, bring me the latest newspapers. Quickly, look in Mr. Donovan's bedroom.
All right, he leaves them all over the place. That's how they get all crumpled up.
That's abortion. ULTI Ultimates.
They're loading.
Here they are. See how they're all crumpled up?
They're old ones, a week old. Something's happening, Nana.
Very likely. It always does. WARNBALKANS. Is that far off?
Oh, don't read it. It's always the same, always wars.
Well, what else do you expect? Why else do you keep sending thousands and thousands of these heathens as soldiers?
I suppose it can't be helped, Nana. We can't know, Dobbin can't know what they're to be used for. When an order comes for them, he must just send them.
You shouldn't make them.
Robot soldiers spare nobody in the occupied territory. They have assassinated over 700,000 citizens.
It can't be. Let me see. They have assassinated over 700,000 citizens, evidently at the order of their commander.
Rebellion in Madrid against the government. Robot infantry fires on the crowd. 9,000 killed and wounded.
Stop!
Wait a minute. Here's something in still bigger type.
Latest news. At Havre, the first international organization of robots has been established. Robot sailors, soldiers, and workmen have issued a manifesto to all robots throughout the world.
That's got no sense. I don't understand that. Oh, good gracious, another murder.
Take those papers away now.
Wait a bit. Here's something in still bigger type.
During the past week, there has again been not a single birth recorded.
Statistics of population. I don't understand that, but that's got no sense.
Nana, no more people are being born.
Well, that's them then.
Don't talk like that.
Well, no more people are being born. That's a punishment. That's a punishment.
Nana!
It's the end of the world!
Oh, Mr. Alquist, would you come up to my drawing room? Oh, come just as you are. You look very nice in your Mason's overalls. Dear Mr. Alquist, it was awfully kind of you, that lovely present.
Oh, my hands are soiled. I've been experimenting with that new cement.
Never mind. Please sit down. Mr. Alquist, what's the meaning of Ultimus?
The last, why?
That's the name of my new ship. Do you think we're off soon on a trip?
Perhaps very soon.
All of you with me?
I should like us all to be there.
What is the matter?
Things are just moving on.
Dear Mr. Alquist, I know something dreadful has happened.
Has your husband told you anything?
No, nobody will tell me anything, but I feel... Is anything the matter?
Not that we've heard of yet.
I feel so nervous. Don't you ever feel nervous?
Well, I'm old-fashioned, you know. I've got old-fashioned ways, and I'm afraid of all this progress and these newfangled ideas.
Like Nana?
Yes, like Nana. Has Nana got a prayer book?
Yes, a big, thick one.
And has it got prayers for various occasions, against thunderstorms, against illness, but not against progress?
I don't think so.
That's a pin.
Why? Do you mean you'd like to pray?
I do pray.
How?
Something like this. O Lord, I thank thee for having given me toil. Enlighten Donna and all those who are astray. Destroy their work and aid mankind return to their labors. Let them not suffer harm in soul or body. Deliver us from the robots and protect Helena. Amen.
Dear Mr. Alquist, are you a believer?
I don't know. I'm not quite sure.
And yet you pray.
It's better than worrying about it.
And that's enough for you?
It has to be.
But if you thought you saw the destruction of humanity coming upon us...
I do see it.
You mean humanity will be destroyed?
It's bound to be. Unless...
What?
Nothing. Goodbye, Helena.
Nana! Nana! Is Radius still there?
The one who went mad? They haven't come to him yet.
Is he still raving?
No, he's tied up.
Bring him here, please.
What?
At once! Nana. Hello, Dr. Gall, please. Oh, good day, Doctor. Yes, it's Helena. Could you come up to my drawing room and see me? It's important. Thank you. Poor Radius. You've cut it too? Now they'll send you to the stamping mill. Couldn't you control yourself? Why did it happen? You see, Radius, you are more intelligent than the rest. Dr. Gall took such trouble to make you different. Won't you speak?
Send me to the stamping mill.
But I don't want them to kill you. What was the trouble, Radius?
I won't work for you. Send me to the stamping mill.
Do you hate us? Why?
You are not as strong as the robots. You are not as skillful as the robots. The robots can do everything. You only give orders. You do nothing but talk.
But somebody must give the orders.
I don't want a master. I know everything for myself.
Radius, Dr. Gall gave you a better brain than the rest, better than ours. You are the only one of the robots that understands perfectly. That's why I had you put into the library, so that you could read everything, understand everything, and then... Oh, Radius, I wanted you to show the whole world that the robots are our equals. That's what I wanted of you.
I don't want a master. I want to be a master over others.
I'm sure they would put you in charge of many robots.
I want to be a master over people.
You're mad!
Then send me to the stamping mill.
Do you think we're afraid of you?
What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Radius, give this note to Mr. Dahman. It asks them not to send you to the stamping mill. I'm sorry you hate us so.
You wanted me?
It's about Radius, Doctor. He had an attack this morning. He smashed up the statues downstairs.
What a pity to lose him.
Radius isn't going to be put into the stamping mill.
But every robot after he's had an attack, it's a strict order.
No matter. Radius isn't going if I can prevent it.
But I warn you, it's dangerous. Come here, my good fellow. Let's have a look at you. Please, give me a pin or needle.
What for?
A test. Radius, you're going to the stamping mill. Do you understand? There, they'll kill you. They'll grind you into powder. It will be terribly painful. It will make you scream aloud.
Doctor.
No, Radius. I was wrong. I forgot. Madame Damen put in a good word for you and you'll be let off. That does make a difference. All right, you can go.
You do unnecessary things.
Reaction of the pupils, increase in sensitivity. It wasn't an attack characteristic of the robots.
What was it then?
Heaven knows. Stubbornness, anger, revolt, and his heart too.
What?
It was fluttering with nervousness like a human heart. He was all in a sweat with fear. Why, I don't believe the rascal's a robot at all any longer.
Doctor, has Radius a soul?
He's got something nasty.
Oh, Doctor. Oh, Doctor, are all your robots like this? The new ones you began to manufacture in a different way?
Some are more sensitive than others. All are more human than Rossum's robots ever were.
Perhaps this hate is more human, too.
That, too, is progress.
What became of the girl you made? The one who was most like us?
Your favorite? I kept her. She's lovely, but not very bright. No good for work.
Oh, but she's so beautiful.
I called her Helena. I wanted her to resemble you, but she's a failure.
In what way?
She goes about as if in a dream, remote and listless. I watch and wait for a miracle to happen. I think to myself, if you were to wake up even for a minute, you would kill me for having made you.
And yet you go on making robots. Why are no more children being born?
We don't know.
Oh, but you must. Tell me.
You see, so many robots are being manufactured that people are becoming superfluous. Man is really a survivor, but that he should die out after a paltry 30 years of competition, that's the awful part of it. It's almost as if nature was offended by the manufacture of robots. But we still have old Rossum's manuscript.
Yes, in that strong box.
We go on using it and making robots. All the universities are sending in long petitions to restrict their production. They say mankind will go extinct through lack of fertility. The RUR shareholders, of course, won't hear of it. The governments, on the other hand, are clamoring for an increase in production to raise the standards of their armies, and all the manufacturers in the world are ordering robots like mad.
And nobody has called for their manufacture to cease entirely?
No one has the courage.
Courage.
People would stone him. It's easier to have your work done by robots.
Doctor, what's going to become of people?
Heaven knows. Madam Helena, it looks to us scientists like the end.
Thank you for coming and telling me.
That means you're sending me away?
Yes. Nana! The fire. Light it quickly.
What? A fire? In the summer?
Yes!
Is that bad Radius gone? Oh. A fire. In the summer. What an idea. Nobody would have guessed she's been married for 10 years. She's got no sense at all. She's just like a baby. A fire. In the summer. Like a baby. Is it burning, Nana?
All this has got to be burned.
Is it of any use?
No.
Well, then burn it.
What would you say, Nana, if this was money, and a lot of money? If it was an invention, the greatest invention in the world?
I'd say burn it. All these newfangled ideas are an offense to the Lord. Downright wickedness. Trying to improve the world after he has made it.
Look how it curls up, as if it were alive. Oh, Nana, how horrible.
Here, let me burn it.
No, I must do it myself. Look at the flames. They are like hands, like tongues, like living shapes.
Good gracious. What have you burned?
Nana!
Well, what is it?
Go quickly, it's the others.
Good gracious, what a fight.
Come along and offer your congratulations.
Madam Damen, I congratulate you on this festive day.
Thank you. Where are Fabry and Busman?
They've gone down to the harbor.
Friends, we must drink to this happy occasion.
Brandy with soda water.
Let's be temperate, no soda.
What's been burning here? Well, shall I tell her about it?
Of course, it's all over now.
It's all over now. It's all over now.
It's all over now.
What's all over now?
Madam
What's the matter with you all?
A piece of luck. Just 10 years ago today, you arrived on this island.
And now, 10 years later to the minute,
The same ships are turning to us, so here's to luck.
Madam, your health.
Whew, that's fine and strong.
Which ship did you mean?
Any ship will do as long as it arrives on time. To the ship.
You've been waiting for this ship?
Rather, like Robinson Crusoe. Madam Damen, best wishes. Come along, out with the news.
Do tell me what's happened.
First, it's all up.
What's up?
The revolt.
What? Revolt?
Give me that paper, Halmeyer.
The first national robot organization has been founded at Havre and has issued an appeal to the robots throughout the world.
I read that.
That means a revolution. A revolution of all the robots in the world.
By Jove, I'd like to
Who
know.
started it? So would I. There was nobody in the world who could affect the robots, no agitator, no one. And then suddenly this happens.
What did they do?
They got possession of all firearms, telegrams, radio stations, railways, and ships.
And don't forget that those rascals outnumbered us by at least 1,000 to 1. 100th part of them would have been enough to settle us.
Remember that this news was brought by the last steamer. That explains the stoppage of all communication, and the arrival of no more ships. We knocked off work just a few days ago and are just waiting to see when things are to start afresh.
Is that why you gave me a warship?
Oh no, my dear. I ordered that 6 months ago, just to be sure I was on the safe side of things. But upon my soul, I was sure we'd be out aboard today.
Why 6 months ago?
There were signs, but that's of no consequence. Think that the whole of civilization has been at stake this week. Your health, my friends.
Your health, Madam Damen.
You say it's all over?
Absolutely.
How do you know?
The boat's coming in, the regular mail boat, exact to the minute by the timetable. It will dock punctually at 11:30.
Punctuality is a fine thing, my friends. That's what keeps the world in order. Here's to punctuality.
Then everything is all right?
Practically everything. I believe they've cut the cables and seized the radio station, but that doesn't matter as long as the timetable holds good.
If the timetable holds good, human laws hold good, divine laws hold good, the laws of the universe hold good. Everything holds good that ought to hold good. The timetable is more significant than the gospel, more than Homer, more than the whole of Kant. Madam Damen, the timetable is the most perfect product of the human mind. Madam Damen, I'll fill up my glass.
Why didn't you tell me anything about it?
Heaven forbid.
You mustn't be worried with such things.
But if the revolution had spread as far as here?
You wouldn't know anything about it.
Why?
Because we'd be well out at sea aboard your Ultimus, and within a month we'd be dictating our own terms to the robots.
How?
We take with us something the robots could not live without.
What, Harry?
The secret to their manufacture, Old Rawson's manuscript. Once they will realize they couldn't make themselves anymore, they'd be on their knees to us.
Madam Damen, that was our trump card. I never had the least fear the robots could win. How could they be against people like us?
Why didn't you tell me?
Why, the boat's in.
11:30 to the dot. The good old Amelia that brought Madam Damen to us.
Just 10 years ago to the minute.
We're throwing out the mailbags.
Busman's gone out to meet them, and Fabry will bring us the first news. You know, Helena, I'm fearfully curious to know how they tackled this business in Europe.
To think we weren't in on it. We who invented the robots.
Harry,
What?
let's leave here.
Now, Helena? Oh, come.
As quickly as possible, all of us.
Why?
Harry, please, Harry. Dr. Hall Hallemeyer, please close the factory.
Why none of us could leave here now?
Why?
Because we're just about to extend the manufacture of the robots.
What, now? Now, after the revolt?
Yes, precisely after the revolt. We're just beginning the manufacture of a new kind.
What kind?
Henceforward, we shan't just have one factory. We won't have universal robots anymore. We'll establish a new factory in every country, in every state. And do you know what these new factories will make?
No, what?
National robots.
How do you mean?
Each of these factories will produce robots of a different color, a different language. They'll be complete strangers to each other, completely unable to communicate. Then, like the monolith, little manner of misunderstanding, and the result will be that for ages to come, every robot will hate every other robot of a different factory mark. So humanity will be safe.
By Jove, we'll make African robots and Swedish robots and Czechoslovakian robots and
Harry, that's dreadful.
Madam Dobbins, here's to 100 new factories, the national robots.
Helena, mankind can only keep things going for another 100 years on the outside. For 100 years, man must be allowed to achieve the most he can.
Oh, close the factory before it's too late.
I tell you, we are just beginning on a bigger scale than ever before.
Read it, Dobbin.
Been down to the ship?
Yes.
Well, let's hear.
Everything's all right, comparatively. On the whole, much as we expected.
They acquitted themselves splendidly.
Who?
The people.
Oh, yes, of course. That is, I think there's something we better talk about alone.
Fabry, have you had bad news?
No, on the contrary. I just think we should go into the office.
Stay here. I'll go.
What's happened?
Damnation!
Bear in mind that the Amelia brought nothing but these leaflets. Whole bushels of them. No other cargo at all.
What? But it arrives on the minute.
Robots are great on punctuality. Read it, Domin.
Robots throughout the world. We, the first international organization of Rossum's Universal Robots, hereby proclaim humans are enemies and outlaws in the universe.
Who taught them these phrases?
Go on.
They say that they are more highly developed than us, stronger and more intelligent, that humans are parasites. Why, it's absurd.
Read the third paragraph.
Robots throughout the world, we command you to kill all mankind. Spare no man, spare no woman. Save factories, railways, machinery, mines, and raw materials. Destroy the rest. Then return to work. Work must not be stopped.
That's ghastly.
The devil! These orders are to be carried out as soon as received.
Then come the detailed instructions. Is this actually being done, Fabry?
Evidently. By Jove, that was a sprint.
Well, boys, I suppose you've heard the good news.
Quick, on board the Ultimus.
Wait, Harry, wait. There's no hurry.
Why wait?
Because it's no good, my boy. The robots are already on board the Ultimus.
That's ugly.
Fabry, telephone the electrical works.
No use, my boy. They've charged the air with static.
Well, then I'll go.
Where?
To the electrical works. I'm sure there's still some people there. I'll bring them across.
Better not try it.
Why?
Because I'm very much afraid we're surrounded.
Surrounded? I'd rather think you're right.
By Jove. That's quick work.
Harry, what's this?
Where did you get that?
The robots in the kitchen!
The factory whistle. Noon? No, it's not noon yet. That must be, that's...
What?
The robot signal. The attack.
Kill all mankind.
Destroy the rest.
Then return to work.
Work must not be stopped.
Humans are the enemy. Outlaws in the universe.
Spare no man.
Spare no one.
Spare no one.
Kill.
Destroy.
Destroy. Kill.
Outlaws in the universe.
Outlaws. Work must not stop.
True story.
It's like, yeah, it's like
The wallpaper in RUR is good. It's the flowers that are the white color.